The Ducks toy with the Bears, then destroy the Bears. Oregon lights up the scoreboard for the second week in a row, this time against Missouri State. The Beavers come out of their bye week still winless, but do they have a better handle on the quarterback situation? Pac-12 play began for the Cardinal in Tucson, and Stanford cranked up the heat on the Wildcats in the second half. In Lincoln, the Huskies and Huskers met in a Holiday Bowl rematch, Nebraska with a full head of steam in the third quarter. The Trojans were seeing orange in the Coliseum, but a Southern California kid sent the Qs packing. Plus, a new McCoy returned to the Rose Bowl, this time to play and help rough up the Bruins. And in Champaign, the Illini packed a sack lunch against the Devils. A hard-hitting Week 3 is in the books, but this edition of Inside the Pac starts right now.
Goes back and hands it off, and LaMichael trying to get it outside. Got a block or two. Gets the corner. Here we go, baby. Here we go. 40, 30, 20, 10. What do you think? Touchdown, LaMichael James.
LaMichael James and the Ducks get that offense clicking in high gear again, but are they ready for Pac-12 play? Hello and welcome to another edition of Inside the Pac. I am Tom Ward, joined as always by Nick Krupke and our special guest this week, former Oregon running back Andiel Brown. Andiel, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Well, you've gotten to watch the Ducks so far through this young season, and kind of tough to gauge really where they're at after the loss to LSU and then a win over two what we would call maybe inferior opponents.
Well, yeah, it's tough to gauge when you start out the season with such a tough opponent. You know, LSU is known for their strong defense, but I think these two teams that we've faced after the fact has really gotten Oregon's running game on track, and I think we have a lot to see coming up.
We mentioned the running game, and as a former back, talk about what you've seen from the progression. We asked guys after the game on Saturday against Missouri State about that running game and where it is. Where do you see it?
I see it with a lot of potential. There's a lot of potential. There's a lot of potential playmakers and some proven playmakers. I think they just need to keep on doing what they've been doing, progress. Take each opportunity and continue on, and they will become as strong as they were last year.
And they displayed a three-headed running attack on
Absolutely.
Saturday, as we expect to see more of that during the season. Nick, Oregon State comes out of their bye, still winless, 0-2, lots of questions, seemingly lots of problems with injuries and the like. And now Pac-12 play is here.
Yeah, and they make a decision at quarterback. You know, the last couple of weeks we thought now Sean Mannon's getting some of the snaps, the majority of the snaps. Now he's going to be the starter. You look at Ryan Katz. Maybe he didn't get a chance to prove himself in the junior year. He breaks his wrist, doesn't play in spring ball, doesn't play in fall camp that much either. And the chance is that now it's Mannion's job for the next 4 years. That's kind of how they really want to look at things, and we'll see how they go. If Katz gets a chance to get back in, you will see him again at some point in time. He says he's not good at transfer, so he's got 2 more years left to go, but right now it is Sean Mannion's club.
And more on Oregon State's quarterback situation as this show goes along. Well, on Saturday, the Oregon Athletic Department confirmed that they had received a notice of inquiry from the NCAA regarding recruiting practices and, in particular, their dealings with Will Lyles. It's a sign that the investigation into Oregon football is getting serious and could get even more serious for Oregon if the NCAA rules the Ducks committed a major violation. On the field, no Michael Clay, no Kenyon Barner, no Josh Huff, as the Ducks closed up their non-conference slate with the Missouri State Bears out of the FCS, formerly 1AA. Missouri State didn't just come to get paid, they came to play as well. Opening drive, 84 yards in 4 minutes and 38 seconds, capped off by Chris Douglas with a 3-yard run. Later, though, the Ducks get it going. LaMichael James answers, 1-yard run. It took Oregon just 3 minutes, and it's tied at 7. And then later, DeAnthony Thomas in his second game at Autzen, electrifying the sold-out crowd again. Still no Cliff Harris receiving punts. The younger DT looking like an All-American. A 48-yard punt return puts Oregon in business in Bear territory. Then the Ducks rack it up. Darren Thomas, 8 yards to Lavagier, 2-and-A, 4 plays in 1 minute, 10 seconds. It's now 14-7 after Oregon D stopped the Bears on 4th and 1 in the red zone. Oregon goes 93 yards in 3 plays. Colt Lyerla, second career catch, second career score for the tight end from Hillsboro. Then how about 90 yards in 1 play? Some naysayers believe LaMichael lost a step by gaining weight this summer. Looks pretty light on his feet here. 90 yards to the house. Second longest run in school history. Bob Smith went 92 yards against Idaho back in 1938. Oregon with 3 straight scoring drives in under a minute. Thomas pass out in front to Tuanay, 34 yards as the Foghorn was working overtime at Autzen. Darrent, he was efficient, 11 of 15 for 206 yards. Third quarter, LaMichael still doing work. The 50-yard dash. Ben Lanana likes to see that as it looks like he's coasting there across the finish line. 204 yards rushing for James's third score. Redshirt freshman quarterback Brian Bennett getting some work again. We'll probably see lots of this in the years to come. Bennett to Laierla, 26 yards. All Laierla does is catch touchdowns. 49-7 Oregon. Bennett was spreading the love though. Eric Dungy with his dad Tony in attendance. First career touchdown, 56-7 Oregon in the third, and they call off the Dogs after that. And the Pac-12 schedule is now what awaits LaMichael and company, with Arizona in Tucson up next. 56-7, an 18th straight win at Autzen. Oregon amassed 681 total yards, 416 on the ground, and with the 3 scores, LaMichael ties Derek LaVille with 45 career touchdowns. 39 of those, 45 from LaMichael, are the rushing variety.
Yeah, he needs one more to tie Derek for the school record. Now the Ducks do go to Tucson, a 7:15 kick on Saturday night.
Well, Andiel, after Oregon picked up just 95 yards rushing in that opener against LSU, the Ducks, as we were mentioning, have gotten better at running the football, but Missouri State and Nevada are not LSU, especially on that defensive line.
That's true. However, it's a great opportunity for the Ducks to establish themselves as a power running offense. And the great thing about this game was that they were able to not only play their starters, but also test some of the young guys to kind of establish themselves as a running offense later in future years to come.
Yeah, we see Trey Carson now coming in here, and he reminds me of a guy that used to wear 27 and ran at Oregon. He looked a little bit like you out there.
You know, a little bit. I wasn't that big. I wish I was, but you know, he has some potential. I'm looking forward to him though.
And it picks up those hard yards up the middle. And then DeAnthony Thomas, it seems wherever they put them, he can make a play.
You know, he's something special. He's going to be a big playmaker for us in the future, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do.
Well, the 416 yards rushing, LaMichael James should add, averaging almost a first down every time he touches the ball, just under 10 yards per carry. That's impressive.
You know, that's not easy to do, not at all. When someone can do that, it's definitely Heisman numbers. I think he's trying to make his case once more, and that's definitely the way to go. It's one step in the right direction.
All right, and we'll talk with the Ducks as the show goes along and preview the big game with Arizona coming up. Well, the bye week couldn't have come at a better time for the Beavers. They've named a starting quarterback now and are hoping to get some key starters back from injury. Phil Milani has more from Beaver practice.
The Sean Mannion era is officially underway at Oregon State. Mike Riley named him the starting quarterback for the UCLA game.
We tried to go with a dual quarterback thought for a couple of games and have decided to basically make a new decision and just start Sean.
Mannion replaced junior Ryan Katz in both of the Beavers' first 2 games, a surprising decision to the returning starter.
I've been the guy for the last year. You know, we made a change, but you know, I'm gonna get back to the basics. I'm gonna come out here and you know, work hard like I always do.
The Beavers have struggled to score points, but Mannion has thrown for nearly 400 yards. No touchdowns, but no interceptions either.
I'm getting more and more comfortable. You know, now I have a year under my belt from last year, redshirted, and you know, I've been here a year. I guess, you know, all that practice has paid off.
Mannion will have tight end Joe Halahuni back. He's been cleared to play against the Bruins and may be joined by James Rogers. Riley says an official decision should come early next week.
I think it's all about me being comfortable and how my body feels, and I think that's the main thing Coach Riley is really focusing on. He wants me to be at 100% when I get back on the field.
With a changing roster and an 0-2 start, Riley admits there is growing pressure to beat the Bruins.
Not that I like it, but we've been here before, and we have to, you know, win the next game. And even if you win the next game, then there's growing pressure to win the next one. That's just the way football is.
In Corvallis, I'm Phil Milani for Inside the Pac.
Phil, thanks. A tale of 2 quarterbacks, Katz and Mannion, in this young season. Katz came into the season as the solid starter, but has not looked comfortable, even in practice. He's completed just 52% of his passes, while Mannion has found his receivers 66% of the time with an efficiency rating of 131.0.
And since Katz got pulled after basically one half against Sac State, he has thrown for only 104 yards this year. And the Beavers have yet to score a touchdown through the air, no matter who is at quarterback. So here they are again now at 0-2. Last time in 2008, they pulled off their 8 wins in the final 10, then took down Pitt 3-0 in that Sun Bowl. The 08 team also loaded at wide receiver, Sammy Strotter, Shane Morales, and a sophomore, James Rogers. Now a fifth-year senior. It's been over 11 months since Rogers was hurt in that Arizona game, and at the time, he was the Beavers' leading wide receiver. He could be back this week, along with tight end Joe Halahouni, who will be back. He led Oregon State with 6 touchdown receptions last season. Now, after being shut out at Wisconsin, they are eagerly awaiting the return, obviously, of both of those 2 big playmakers. Freshman running back also Malcolm Agnew expected to play against the Bruins after an injured hamstring. His right hamstring sidelined him last week. That running game, obviously, you've got to have that for those guys. What they have, 24 carries, 23 yards is all they got against Wisconsin. You look at the first game, Agnew's debut, 233. He looks like he can be a guy that can make a difference, and obviously you get the run game going, opens things up for the passing game for them to finally get a passing touchdown through the air.
Well, the idea of sitting James Rogers has been floated this year as well, as he's already missed a couple of games and maybe 3 in this season. But, I mean, really, number one, is he going to be guaranteed a 6th year of eligibility by the NCAA? I mean, it happened to Lyle Moyval. He didn't get it. And the other thing is, does James really want to hang around for another year? So I think right now the best thing is try to get Halahouni back on the field, get James Rogers back on the field, and you'd be surprised how things begin to turn for Oregon State once that happens. Well, the Ducks have completed the non-conference portion of their schedule, sitting at 2-1. Still to come on Inside the Pac. More from Autzen, as by and large the men of Oregon proclaim themselves ready for conference play.
We right where we need to be. Coach Kelly is building this team to be great. Just like last year's team, we had an early loss, so we're not used to that, but we're going to be on the right track.
Plus, the Cats and Cardinal traded blows in the desert in their Pac-12 opener around the conference straight ahead. And as always, lots more Beavers, Ducks, and the rest of the Pac-12 online all the time at our website, InsideThePac.com. We'll be back after this.